Here we are at Xposure, and again, I want to thank the wonderful crew who has been so kind and helpful in putting these projections events on for us. So thank you again, everybody. Today we're with Rony Zakaria, who is a Global Focus Project winner, and he's going to show us and explain to us his project. Rony, it's all yours. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you, Frank, for having me here at Xposure.
It's our pleasure. So tell us a little bit about your project and tell us how you got started as a photographer. On.
Well, I started as a photographer in 2005, so it's 20 years now.
Okay.
Yeah. It's been quite a journey. And here at Xposure, I have this exhibition from my country, Indonesia, about a whaling village who does a tradition 3,000 years old in a village called Lamalera in the east part of Indonesia.
So the whale project, what made you want to document that? What was your inspiration?
I'm always fascinated with the connection, the human connection with himself to the nature, especially towards the sea and the mountains. It was a beginning when I went to a trip to Merapi, one of the most active volcano in Indonesia. It's supposed to be just a tourist kind of trip back in 2007, but it becomes like a 2 months stay at my friend's place, and we keep going back and forth, exploring what's the connection, and it started from there. And this project about Lamalera, the whaling village, is part of that bigger project. So this whaling village, I found of a story from a friend who came from that village, and he first became a pastor, wanted to become a pastor, but he didn't make it as a pastor. And then stayed in Jakarta. We hang out, we become friends, and he said, my dad used to be a very good a whaler.
So it's a whaler,
yeah.
okay.
And then why don't you come to my place? And I came, and I was so fascinated to this.
And
to
was
this
your
day.
friend a whaler as well?
No, he was not.
So that sort of tradition was stopping, but in his family, the dad did it, but he didn't.
Yeah, his dad. So his dad didn't have a successor from his
Right.
direct line, so he has to give it to the cousin.
So is that something that's heartbreaking for a family, that it stops? My son doesn't do it, so it ends. Do women do it?
Women does not do it.
Doesn't do it, or are not allowed to do it?
They're not allowed to do it.
Okay.
It's a very man world there,
Right.
and it's a very hard thing to do as well.
Yeah.
All the boat are men, and for the hunting season, there's a lot of strict rules. Even for the married men, they're not allowed to be in the same bed with their wives.
Oh, is that right?
Cannot drink, cannot get drunk,
Right.
and have to do some fast
Wow.
period. So it was a sacred tradition for these men to be out in the sea.
Right.
So this is the island of Lambata, where this whaling village is east part of Indonesia, very remote. So it will take about 1.5 days to get there. So you take two flights, one a commercial flight, and one is a charter flight going to this island, and then another 6 hours bus ride towards this village.
And the folks who go out on these boats, are they out there for a month, or is it they get their whale and then they go home? How
So
does it
this
work?
tradition is unlike where. So there's a misconception about like whaling is bad and then stuff. Of course, there's the industry where the Japanese and the Nordic countries where they catch the bunch,
Right.
all the bunch, and take it like probably the whole group. For them, it's not, and they're not capable of doing that as well. It's a
Right.
wooden boat as a harpoon, bamboo harpoon. So they from the village, they will see if there's a whale, and they will think that, it's my time to go there, and because one of them will give it themselves to us, so they will not take the whole group.
Right.
Only one that will approach them, and then it will like a harvest for them. So they will call when they see there's a whale from the coastline, and as they call baleo.
Bayo.
Baleo. Baleo means get the rope.
Get the rope. Okay.
Get the rope and get ready, and then they go to the boat.
Okay. Beautiful.
So this is a young fellow transporting a whale shark, the catch of the day, from the boat. So they're not only hunting whales. So the tradition is hunting big fishes.
Right.
Big fishes.
And so that fish gets trapped, and they just tug it along for the rest of the day, or the day is over.
The day's over. It's only in the morning for them to get for them there's a daily trip,
Right. Okay.
but for the whale they have to see it, and then they will call
Right.
the baleo.
Okay. 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 Go.
So this is a sperm whale that was catch. So the hunt is over. So they took it to the
Shore.
beach, to the shore, and I think they catch one only at that day.
Okay.
So they don't catch it every day.
Right. Okay.
Normally, when they see a group, probably they will take one or two.
Okay.
Probably one big one, and probably if it is big one, just only one.
And is there any monitoring by the government so that they don't take five,
There is
or
not.
is it a noble understanding?
It's a noble understanding, and they cannot do it anyway. They're using bamboo harpoons. They don't use motorized
Yeah.
harpoon. They use a sail, and they use they don't use motorized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so is the boat not motorized either? Okay. Wow. Okay.
So this is the catch. And they only catch sperm whales. They don't do
Sperm
blue whales
Okay.
because
And why is that?
because they believe blue whales because they're not settled in Lamalera. Lamalera is the village. They were not originally came in Lamalera. So they came from Makassar. Makassar is an island, a big island north of Indonesia, near the Philippines. And once there was like a huge, I think, tsunami, and then they had to move, and then they almost died because of that. And then the one that saved them is a blue whale. So they thought it was the creature that saved them is a blue whale. So now they only catch sperm. And I asked them, how do you differentiate between a sperm? Because you cannot see from the coastline. So
Right.
they say the way they breathe is different.
Is that right?
So a blue whale, they say, well, the breathe, it will go straight up,
Right.
and then the sperm whale will go a bit diagonally.
And can you see that, like with your eye now?
I cannot.
You can't.
They know.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I cannot.
That's a real nuance. So those other boats that we see there, those are other fishing people as well.
Yes. So they have 10 boats from each families.
Okay.
And every family has one harpoonist,
Okay.
one captain, and bunch of people who row the crew. Yeah,
Right.
the crew members from the same.
And are those
families.
family members as well, the crew?
Yes, mostly are family members.
So it's I'm in charge, and my cousins and
Yes,
we're all part
yes,
of this boat.
yes. They're all in the same family names usually.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So this is where, at the sea, where they caught, they saw a bunch of whales, and one of them is being hunted.
Right.
And this boat belongs to the family where I stay with, the host. But the host used to be a harpoonist, but no longer able to do the bamboo thing.
Yeah,
Harpoon.
this shot here is so unbelievable. The beauty
Yeah.
of that young man, just diving into the air
Yes.
like that.
Yes. It's like
Just
Moby Dick.
spectacular.
like
Yeah,
Moby
it is,
Dick.
right? And is there training around that as a young boy? Do they practice that? Just I'm going to be a harpoonist.
Yeah, they see that, oh, there's a potential in this guy, the young guy. Probably I will train this guy.
Oh, okay.
There's a apprenticeship kind of thing.
Right.
But you have to work your way up first. I went a couple of trips on that boat. Very scary. But first, because I never experienced, so I came at the lowest level. The lowest level, they give you a bucket, and then for the water to to go out.
So you have to work on.
I have to work. Everybody has to participate, and there's people who work on the rope. It's a very dangerous. It has to be very precise because the rope can get tangled,
Right.
and the whale is so big, it will take your leg, it will take your arm, and some fishermen lost their arm and leg because of this.
And how would the whale get your arm? Like if you got too close?
So no,
Or the
not
rope
got
could rip
your.
it apart.
It's not because of the. It's because of the rope. Because
Right.
once you harpoon, there's a rope there.
Right.
And if his rope is not right, it got tangled on your leg or your arm, it will get
Tear it right off.
there, right, and then they will go take the boat down. So I have some pictures where they look like these men, the crews, they look like they're standing on the water, but apparently it's a boat, and the water just submerged the boat.
Oh, is that right?
So I have a picture like they're standing like Jesus
Wow.
above the water.
Wow. And would this boy who's out, who's doing the harpooning, would he naturally be the son of the owner?
Usually yes, but because my host, my friend,
Yeah.
supposed to be the next generation, he became the pastor.
Right, wanted to
So
be. Yes.
he gave it to the cousin. The bamboo was passed to the cousin. So my host was down in the back. He's supposed to be the harpoon, but because the eye is no longer, there's a picture of him later on. We
Right.
can talk about that.
Okay. Great.
So this is the distribution of the meat. Afterwards, equally divided to the whole family in the village. It's 2,000 people
2,000 people.
2,000 people.
From one whale.
for one whale. Yeah.
And will that boat go out again tomorrow, or that's for the season?
Not the season. Usually you can catch probably 10. The season starts I think in April, just after I think Easter,
Right.
and it ends around September. So it depends on the wind and the tide, because if it's too rough you cannot see much and it's getting harder. So that's the meat being distributed. It's very thick. So they use it for food, and sometimes there's a barter market, meaning there's no money involved. So vegetation is very almost non-existent because it's very reefy. A lot of reef, very dry, and nothing grows. So they trade the meat.
Wow.
So they kind of save it with salt, so it can save it longer.
Right.
And they trade it in a weekly barter market with the mountain people, with corn,
So the mountain
avocado.
people are making the vegetables
Yes,
and all of that.
yes.
And we trade.
They trade.
So it's self-sufficient, right?
It is.
You talk about sustainability,
It is, yes.
right? Beautiful. So those,
Sorry.
the people up in the hills and the people near the water have direct communication, so they know when people are going out, and they know when the boat got lost. Everyone,
They all know.
they all know.
Gossip spreads kind of quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Even without phones, right?
yeah, it is the only thing that going on because
Excellent.
This is a photo of my friend Fotu. He's one of the harpoonists from one of the houses, one of the families. Very good friend of him.
And behind them is the bones.
The bones of the sperm. Usually they don't take it, but he's kind of an artist, so he wants to decorate his garden, so-called garden,
Yeah.
with his decoration of a sperm
And
whale.
so, from a photographer standpoint, explain sort of learning this as you go, and the challenges and the rewards of, and why shoot black and white.
That's a very most frequent question I ever being asked to why black and white. Simple answer is I think I'm a better black and white photographer. People just shoot color. People shoot black and white. I shoot color for assignment commissions, of course, but I always think that I'm a black and white photographer.
Okay.
I express myself better, but also I think when I analyze the conditions in my country, and also aesthetically, it makes make more sense.
It does.
Because the golden hours. When I go to Europe, you can photograph all day, and the I'm sorry, the light is just perfect.
Right.
It's side light, Rembrandt style, and everything just beautiful aesthetically. But in Indonesia, it's only a small time window in the morning, probably around 7 to 9, 2 hours in the morning, and also um, 4 to 5 or 6 in the afternoon. So very small window. And sometimes, because I don't shoot single images, I shoot collection of images to for a body of work, and sometimes it's very beautiful
Yeah.
in the color. I love in the color, but most of the time it's daylight,
Right.
and you see all those things. And for me, black and white just perfect for to combine everything, and it gives justice for everything,
Right.
as an expression as a whole for that.
So in this picture, we see this is the first time we see a woman,
Yeah.
right? And so we wouldn't see even women on the beach helping with cutting.
Yeah, they usually just collect
Collect. Okay.
with the buckets. The women usually weave fabrics.
Okay.
They have fabric for the clothes, and for the the, how do you say it,
Headdress,
headdress now. So the neck
scarf.
yeah, with the traditional the whale motif.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So very interesting.
So in a village like this, you'll never see tourists coming by,
When I was there, I
or
think
other photographers, right?
photographer, yes, but because it's very hard to come, of course. Of course, there's scientists also. I met a Japanese scientist who came by, already spoke the language. He came by every year,
Right.
and I think he's been there for like 20 years.
Okay.
Every year he came,
Right.
and sometimes you see a boat, like a yacht,
Oh, really?
really, down in the bay, and then there's like small vessel coming, and then they will buy some scarves, some textiles from the village.
Great. Go.
So this is what I was telling earlier. This is my host, Bapa Eli. Bapa means like father.
Right.
Eli is his name. Elias Beding. Beding is the family name.
Okay.
So every family name has a boat, and he was so generous enough to have me as his guest. We stayed at his house for 2 months probably in total.
Wow.
I went there 4 times, probably 2 or 3 months in total. And here I think a few days before I left, and I said I want to photograph you at the very best, because he doesn't hunt anymore. I become a harpoonist, but I want to photograph you with your last hunt. So this is him with a jaw of orca.
Wow.
Yeah, with an orca that he caught 3 years prior of this photograph being taken.
And even that, I mean, for him to retire, is there a ceremony around that I'm now done and I move on?
There is none, but I think there's a passing of a bamboo,
Yeah.
a symbolic passing of a bamboo from him to the next generation. He still goes sail. Now his role is when the whales already settled down, but not that yet.
Right.
He will swim. If we go back, that's him, second from the back.
Second from okay.
Yeah. So he's 70 years old. After the whales weaken, so he will swim towards the whale and go on top of him. On top of him, I see it in my own eyes. I have a picture actually, and with a dagger, he will pull this out just behind the, how do you say it,
The neck, spine,
the one that they breathe.
lung.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they will cut it there and bleed out.
So that's his honor to do
Yeah,
that.
it's an honor to do that because he's still the captain of the boat. He just cannot see it, so he passed it temporarily to the harpoonist, but he wasn't yet to retire that time.
Right. And is there a call like, go now? Like
Yes. After the whale died, they all pray
oh, they do.
and say thank you for this blessing from you. Thank you for for this gift. Thank you for the harvest, and thank you for from the sea. And then they go all back.
Wow.
So there's very respectful. There's a
Real tradition.
yeah,
I mean, everything
it
is,
it
evolves around
it is,
tradition.
it is, and they believe, they believe, they believe the energy, even from you. I came, and then Bapa Eli said, "You are a very good person because of what? You came by, and the first day you wake up, there's a whale. We haven't seen a whale for 3 months, and you came, and then a whale come. So he said,
You're good.
you're a person. You're always welcome here." So I was so happy to hear that.
Yeah, that's so nice.
Yeah,
Right.
because-
And how they connect all.
Yes.
They connect all this this karma, right?
Yes, yes. They all believe that. They're very simple people. When I first met them, they have a hard life for sure to live in this kind of condition. But deep down, as I go by living with them, such a wonderful people to live
Yeah.
with, to talk with.
Mm.
So this is the a picture from a Requiem Mass. So they're Catholics. So there's some why we know there's the tradition existed way before Indonesia even being, there's Indonesia,
Right.
because the missionary came before, and there's a church there, and there's a record saying that this happened before Indonesia even existed. There's a church there. There's a Jesus. I have a picture, but it's not in the series. I have a picture on my back home. There's a Jesus statue, getting a Bible on one hand and a harpoon on the right, on the
there you
other
go.
hand. So it was very unique. So, but this mass is to give respect to the fallen fishermen. So it's done every beginning of the season,
Okay.
before the hunting season every year.
So
Sorry.
Yep.
So, right in the back, there's a guy with one hand. So he lost one hand during one of this hunt because a rope tangled up in one of his arm, and he lost it. And so he could no longer go to the sea.
And is that now looked upon as he's a burden for the community, or does he do something else? Like, how does that work in such a spiritual and traditional space like this?
No, he's not a burden for the community. On the contrary, he's respected because he gave.
He gave for
He
it.
gave already, and then of course he did something else.
Yep. Okay. Wow.
And then passing to like this photo. Sorry, it's like a passing the baton to the next
So
generation.
this little, he's training.
He's training. He wants to be a harpoonist. We call it lamafa in their language. Lamafa. Lamafa is the harpoon guy.
Right.
And to be a harpoon guy has to be a special guy. They're
Terrific
selected,
athlete
yeah,
and everything
yeah.
else. And when do we know that he's good enough to do it?
You have to work your way. First, again, you become the
Okay.
bucket guy,
Right.
and then you become a rope guy, and then you'll become the one who let's go that way, and then you become the second captain, and then you'll
And
be,
how long is that how long?
years,
So-
years.
Is the guy that you end up being the harpoonist? You're 25, you're 30.
30, usually 30 to 40, up to 50. I think
Really?
by the time you're 60, you're ready to pass it.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, so the window of actually doing it can be 15 or 20 years,
20 years, I think.
right? Not longer than that. Wow. And that must be for a young man incredibly special.
It is because you're well respected. You hold a quite special status in the village,
Right.
and people respect you, and not everyone can do that.
Good.
Yeah.
Wow. Good. Beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you.
And just last question, where are the women? I mean, are they all just taking care of the home, doing all the cooking? Do they do the salting of the?
Yes.
so
Yes.
They do
Yes.
all that.
It's very traditional. It's not like, of course, you want to have women also in the modern world in the
Yeah,
city.
yeah.
You want this equality, but in this tradition, unfortunately, it's still a tough man world.
Right.
here, and all the women are taking care of the all the things,
Domestic issues, yeah.
which is not all that bad.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Some of the women who wants to be modern, they become civil servants. So civil servant is one of the profession that they do besides of being a fisherman. So not everyone become a fisherman. So some becomes teachers. So women teachers also do that. Principals, civil servant, pastors,
Right.
nuns. So a lot of things that both
That are
genders
needed,
do.
yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you doing this. This project is completely
Thank you
fascinating.
so much, Frank.
And again, congratulations on winning the Global Focus Project award. And just keep in touch with us and let us know what you're doing, because we'd love to have you back at Projections.
Thank you. But last, I want to
show the book.
show my book. This is a book that I did. Actually, the project of Lamalera is part of the bigger project called Man, Mountains, and the Sea. It's 12 years of body of work that I did from 2007 until 2018. And it became a book in 2020. So
Hey, can we get that on your website?
yeah.
Okay, great. Well, we'll put the website address in the chat room.
Yeah. So thank you, Frank.
Thank you. And again, we thank everyone here at Xposure for letting us use their technology and being part of Projections. So thank you all.
Thank you so much for Xposure for having me here.
Great.